Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. In this video, I will be giving my preview for the upcoming match between the Western Force and the Blues. But if you do enjoy this video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. But nonetheless, let's get straight into this preview. So this game, it is going to be the second game of round 11 in the Super Rugby Pacific competition. Should be an exciting one. We didn't get to see the Western Force play last week, so they will be hoping to find themselves some nice form at HBF Park, their home ground, and hopefully they will be able to play very well. But throughout this preview, first of all, we will be looking at recent fixtures for both of these two sides. Then after that, I will be going to 3 players for each side that I feel will be able to do well in this contest, followed by the prediction of the score. So first, we will be looking at the 3 recent fixtures for the Western Force. Their first one that I am going to be talking about happened on April 8th on the Friday night. They did end up losing to the Rebels 22 points to 21, which was a very close game, but in the end, just coming out on the wrong side. Then their next game was up against the Waratahs, in which they did end up losing 41 points to 24. If we go just a couple weeks back, they actually had a very close game with the Brumbies also, but they were on the wrong side of the victory. So the Western Force currently on a bit of a losing streak. And then the next game that they were going to have, I say were because it was unfortunately postponed due to positive cases, the Western Force versus Moana Pacifica. So now that game will be rearranged to be played at some other time. But that would have been a nice one, a confidence builder for the Western Force, as I feel they would have been able to win that game if they were able to field a team. But now, looking through at the Blues for their recent fixtures, they are on a win streak and a half. The only game that they have lost for their season was the very first matchup, and that was up against the Hurricanes, where they did lose by only about 1 point, I believe it was. But the last 3 fixtures, 25-0 against the Chiefs, 27-23 over the Crusaders, which was very impressive as well, as it was played at Orange Theory Stadium. Then their last week's fixture for the Trans-Tasman side of things was actually up against the Fijian Drua, and even though the Drua were pushing them in terms of that physicality, the Blues were able to get themselves over the line, winning that game 35 points to 18. And they did actually receive a bonus point for that match, I should mention. So doing very nicely there. So this game, it will be a challenge for them. Different team that they are going to be going up against, a win streak versus a losing streak. It's actually the same case as what we saw for the Blues versus Fiji and Drua, but now the win streak's gotten just a little bit longer for the Blues in this matchup. Whereas the Western Force, they are dying to be able to get themselves a win. So hopefully it is going to be a very close game. But now we will be looking through at 3 players for both of these sides that I feel will be able to have a great game in this matchup. First of all, we will look through at the Western Force, as they are the home side. I am going to say Manasa Mataele will be a man who will be able to have a big game in this matchup. The ex-Crusader, he's been playing very well, and also I believe he's right up there for the most running meters in the whole competition. Even though his side are losing, he is playing very well, and I feel he will be able to replicate that in this game up against the Blues, as he is marking up with AJ Lamb, the youngster. So I feel like Mataele might have a few tricks up his sleeve to be able to get round AJ Lamb. Then the next name I've got is Kane Koteka. He's been playing very well in their loose forward trio, playing number 7 for this game. And I think he should be able to be a bit of a menace in the breakdown, really get involved, and should be able to get himself a couple turnovers in the process. And maybe that's the thing, the Blues' discipline can sometimes let them down a bit. And if Koteka is constantly in that breakdown, they're possibly going to end up getting themselves penalised a couple times, the Blues, trying to get him out of there. So that is something to take into consideration. Then the last name I've got on my list for the Western Force, it is Santiago Medrano, the Argentine international. He will be tight head prop for this matchup, and for me, he's in the same boat as Kane Koteka. If he can really get under the skin of the Blues, perhaps they end up infringing just a little bit too often, and it might give the Western Force just a bit of momentum. But now looking through at the names that I've put down for the Blues, I have got Dalton Papali'i is back in the side, and he is forever dangerous in that lineup. And pretty much I could say it for a third time about being in that breakdown, but these guys, they are just extremely solid in the breakdown. As soon as they've got that wide base and hands on the ball, you're not moving them. And Dalton Papali'i, he's bulked up again this season. I think he's bulked up the last 3 seasons. And every time you wonder whether or not it's possible for him to be able to put on more muscle, and the guy somehow does it. So he will be a hard one to shift. Then at number 9, I am going to say it is Finley Christie as an important factor for the Blues. Back in the lineup, Taufa Funaki last week had a couple troubles. He will be coming off the bench instead for this one. But Finley Christie, for me, will be able to have a great matchup. Then the last name that I've got on my list, it is actually Roger Tuivasa-Sheck. I think he is going to really step up in this game. He's got no Rieko Ioane on his outside. Instead, it's Bryce Heem and those two in the midfield. I feel like this is the perfect opportunity for Tuivasa-Sheck to really find his feet and show that he is one of the leaders of the backline. But those are my predictions for who's going to be able to play well. Now we're on to the actual prediction for the match and what I think the score margin will end up being for this game. I'm going to be harsh on the Force just because they are on that losing streak. The Blues on a winning streak. I am going Blues win this game by 18. But I could be wrong. Could easily be wrong there. And the Western Force might make it a lot closer. But nonetheless, thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And I will see you all for the next one.